The Dog and the Sparrow, a bedtime retelling of the Grimm Brothers' tale. A shepherd's dog had a master who took no care of him and often let him suffer the greatest hunger. At last the poor dog could bear it no longer, so he took to his heels and ran away, feeling very sad and sorrowful. On the road he met a sparrow who asked, "Why are you so sad, my friend?" "Because," said the dog, "I am very, very hungry and have nothing to eat." "If that's all," replied the sparrow kindly, "come with me into the next town. I'll soon find you plenty of food." So off they went together into the town. As they passed a butcher's shop, the sparrow said, "Stand here a moment while I peck down a piece of meat for you." The sparrow perched upon a shelf, looked carefully around to make sure no one was watching, and pecked at a steak that lay near the edge. At last, down it fell. The dog quickly snapped it up and carried it off into a corner, where he ate it all. "Well," said the sparrow, "you shall have more if you wish. Come with me to the next shop and I'll peck down another piece." When the dog had eaten that one too, the sparrow asked, "Well, my good friend, have you had enough now?" "I've had plenty of meat," answered the dog, "but I'd like a piece of bread to eat after it." "Come with me then," said the sparrow, "and you shall soon have that too." She led him to a baker's shop and pecked at 2 rolls that lay in the window until they fell to the ground. The dog ate them eagerly, and when he still wished for more, she took him to another shop and did the same. When at last he was full, he said, "I've had enough. Now let's take a walk a little way out of town." So they both went out along the high road. But as the weather was warm, the dog said after a while, "I'm very tired. I'd like to take a nap." "Very well," said the sparrow. "Do so, and I'll perch upon that bush." So the dog stretched himself out on the road and soon fell fast asleep. While he slept, a carter came by with a cart drawn by 3 horses and loaded with 2 large casks of wine. The sparrow saw that the man wasn't turning aside but meant to drive right over the dog. She called out, "Stop! Stop, Mr. Carter, or it shall be the worse for you!" But the carter only grumbled, "You'll make it worse for me. What can you do?" And he cracked his whip, driving his cart right over the poor dog. The wheels crushed him to death. "There now, you cruel villain!" cried the sparrow. "You've killed my friend. This deed shall cost you all that you are worth." "Do your worst," said the man. "What harm can a tiny bird do me?" He drove on. But the sparrow crept beneath the cart's cover and pecked at the bung of one cask until she loosened it. The wine began to run out without the carter noticing. When at last he looked back and saw that the cask was empty, he cried, "What an unlucky wretch I am!" "Not unlucky enough yet," called the sparrow, flying to the head of one of his horses and pecking at it until the poor creature reared up and kicked. The carter, furious, grabbed his hatchet and swung at the bird, but she flew away, and his blow fell upon the horse's head, killing it instantly. "Unlucky wretch that I am," cried the carter. "Not unlucky enough yet," said the sparrow, and she flew back beneath the cart to peck out the bung of the second cask. Soon all the wine was gone. When the carter saw it, he groaned again, but the sparrow only answered, "Not unlucky enough yet." She perched on the head of his second horse and began to peck. The carter struck again, and missing her once more, killed his second horse. The sparrow taunted, "Still not unlucky enough?" And when he struck at her a third time, he killed his last horse too. At last the man trudged home in rage and despair. When he arrived, his wife met him crying, "Oh, husband, what ill luck! A wicked bird has come into the house and brought all the birds in the world with her. They're in the loft eating up all our corn." The carter rushed upstairs and indeed saw thousands of birds feasting on his grain, with the sparrow at their head. "Unlucky wretch that I am," cried the man. "Not unlucky enough yet," chirped the sparrow. "Your cruelty shall cost you your life." Then she flew out the window. Down in the kitchen, the carter sat sulking in the chimney corner, but the sparrow perched outside and called through the window, "Carter, Thy cruelty shall cost thee thy life." The carter jumped up in fury and threw his hatchet, but it missed and shattered the window. The sparrow hopped inside and cried again, "Carter, it shall cost thee thy life." Mad with rage, he swung again and again, smashing furniture, dishes, chairs, and even the walls, trying to strike her, but hitting nothing. At last they caught her. "Shall I kill her at once?" asked the wife. "No," said the carter. "That's letting her off too easily. I will eat her." But the sparrow fluttered her wings and cried, "Carter, it shall cost thee thy life yet." The man handed the hatchet to his wife. "Wife, strike the bird and kill her in my hand." The wife swung the hatchet, but missed. She struck her husband instead, and he fell dead on the spot. The sparrow flew quietly home to her nest. The end.